much. So I knew in my head that it was over for me. The first round happened. He punched me. I couldn't throw back. My instincts weren't there. My fast twitch muscles weren't there. And every single round, I literally wanted to die in that ring. Because in my head, I was thinking, if he punches me, maybe I won't. It actually took a very tough beating to get me out of the sport.
By Pacquiao.
Manny Pacquiao. I mean, he beat the hell out of me. Manny Pacquiao would be right in front of me. He would, after hitting me 15 times, and then I would be ready to hit him, and he would be wide open, and I couldn't pull the trigger.
I wouldn't have loved to fight Pacquiao again because he kicked my ass. But yeah, there were many fighters out there who I would have loved to fight 2 or 3 times.
You know what? So you had enough of Pacquiao is what you're saying.
Oh, trust me.
Oscar De La Hoya has shared the ring with every legend from his era, from Floyd Mayweather to Bernard Hopkins. But there's one night that still lingers with him, a moment where the Golden Boy didn't just accept defeat. He somehow wanted to disappear in the middle of the MGM Grand. For years, we believed it was simply a story of an aging legend being outworked by a younger lion. But recently, Oscar revealed the unsettling truth behind his collapse against Manny Pacquiao, and it's far darker than anyone ever imagined.
I remember to this day the conversation I had with Oscar when I first told him, hey, you should fight Pacquiao. Oscar laughed. He's too little. He's too little, that guy. There is a difference of almost 20 pounds. People want to see that fight. People are excited. He's the guy that's coming up. He's fast, Oscar, but eventually your size is going to break him down. Something was not right. I could see it in his eyes. He's not even throwing punches. What is he doing?
Pacquiao snakes his left hand through De La Hoya's guard.
I was like, fuck. He had no legs, he had no pop, he had no punch.
Pacquiao is making De La Hoya look old, slow, ineffectual. De La Hoya has 0 answers.
I was scared. And I said, you know what? The spark's not there. He doesn't have it. He doesn't have it.
Back in 2008, the world thought this fight was a joke. You had Manny Pacquiao, a guy who started his career as a 106 pounds flyweight, moving up to face a massive welterweight in Oscar De La Hoya. The reach, the height, the power, everything favored Oscar. On paper, it was a mismatch. But the moment the first bell rang, Oscar realized he hadn't stepped into a boxing match. He had stepped into a meat grinder.
Kind of like deflated the balloon. I felt like, wow, like here I am on top of the world, beating Pernell Whitaker, beating Julio Cesar Chavez, beating Hector Macho Camacho, beating Sugar Shane Mosley, beating all these fighters, okay? Having amazing fights in their prime and creating some amazing events. And then my last fight, I'm like a shell of myself. And Manny Pacquiao beats me, and he's the next champion. It felt a little, I felt humiliated.
Did you know what was slowing down? Joe Louis told me once that he saw the opening.
Oh, yes.
Just didn't get there.
Exactly. Manny Pacquiao would be right in front of me. He would, after hitting me 15 times, and then I would be ready to hit him, and he would be wide open, and I couldn't pull the trigger. I just couldn't pull the trigger.
So, how did a legend get it so wrong? It all began with a devastating mistake in training. Oscar decided to drop from 160 pounds down to 147, but he pushed it too far. By the time he stepped on the scales, he wasn't just lean, he was a shadow. He weighed in at 145 pounds, actually coming in lighter than the naturally smaller Manny Pacquiao. He was drained, dehydrated, and physically broken before he even laced up his gloves. But the physical exhaustion was only half the battle.
What was going through your mind at that time, Oscar?
Well, what happened in that fight, I mean, I was a zombie. I was drained. I think I had fought Bernard Hopkins at 160. And then I said, let me dare to be great again and fight this young kid who they're talking about at 147. I literally weighed in 144 for that fight. And I was a skeleton. It was too much. So I knew in my head that it was over for me. The first round happened. He punched me. I couldn't throw back. My instincts weren't there. My fast twitch muscles weren't there. And every single round, every single round. If you watch my documentary that came out on HBO called The Golden Boy, it explains to you what I was thinking, what I was feeling. I literally wanted to die in that ring. In the 8th round, everybody was going to stop it, okay? Or the 7th round. One of those rounds, everybody wanted to stop it, including the referee, the trainer. And I said, no, I want one more. Because in my head, I was thinking, if he punches me, maybe I won't wake up, you know?
Were there some other things going on that you wanted to die in the ring?
Of course. I wanted my whole life to die. The whole life that I was living at the time, you know? Having to go through rehabs, having to go through, you know, all this fame and money and women and this and that. It was just overwhelming. And now I can't perform. Now I don't have the last thing that I love, that I worked so hard for. I don't have it anymore.
Right.
So just end it here in the middle of the ring. Just punch me so I can die.
Right. Wow. So, did you underestimate Manny? Did you understand what he was? I think he moved up from 106 to 112 and had blown through everybody. Sure. 22, 20, 30, 35, 40, 47.
Yeah.
So you didn't underestimate him. You knew what he got Pac-Man that name for. He got that name for a reason.
Oh yeah, I underestimated him, but it didn't matter. Even if I was a dead man walking. I couldn't.
Why not take the fight at 54?
I don't think they would have done it because he was like you said, he was coming up in weight. It was probably too much at the time. But even at 54, he probably still would have beat me. No shame in my game.
What's the biggest mistake, be it in the boxing ring or in business, that Oscar De La Hoya has made?
Probably inside the ring. I stood in there.
It was only half the battle. As the rounds dragged on, the frightening speed of Manny Pacquiao turned into a nightmare. Oscar describes Manny not as a man, but as a machine that never stops. Pacquiao kept firing punches from angles. Oscar couldn't keep up with a pace that felt impossible. By round 7, Oscar's left eye was swelling closed, and he was getting brutally battered the ropes. It was in those moments that the most shocking part of the story surfaced. Oscar wasn't just hoping for the referee to step in. He was actually hoping for something far more permanent.
Like how are you dealing with being Manny Pacquiao? You're a global star. You are a national hero.
At the time that I became #1 pound for pound in the world. Yeah.
How are you dealing with it as a personally? Like being that big, how are you dealing with that at that time?
I never, like, the fans, the world, all commerce, like everything like that. I mean, recognition everywhere like that, even in the Philippines, because most of the people in the Philippines don't believe that I'm gonna win the fight, because even in our Congress, some congressman filed a resolution to stop the fight because it might get hurt me. Like
really?
Yeah.
They were afraid for you.
They said that they said that stop the fight because they might get hurt. Me.
They had no idea.
Yeah. Just like that. So after the fight, like the people, like boom, like that, and then that time, like, you know, oh, this is. But I still, you know, thinking to God for everything, like. All that accomplishment is from God.
But man, your life wasn't the same, man. It wasn't the same. Like, you can't go anywhere. Whether you're
But this isn't just Oscar's opinion. Even today's elite kings like Terence Crawford and Shakur Stevenson look at Manny's peak with absolute awe. Crawford recently admitted that he wished he could have tested himself against Pacquiao before retiring, calling Manny's rhythm unorthodox and his volume terrifying.
There was one fighter that
you wanted to fight, but you weren't able to.
Pacquiao, for sure. 1,000%.
That little Filipino kid.
For sure. And I try to fight Pacquiao.
George's bestie. George's bestie.
Yeah.
Full respect. But Skinny Hussein knocked him out for 20 seconds, mate. YouTube, Hussein versus Pacquiao.
Pacquiao, for sure. You know, that was a fight that I was chasing for years, since I was 140 pounds. You know, and to see him you know, fight Broner, Tim Bradley, you know, Keith Thurman and all those.
Chris Algieri.
Fight, yeah. Man, I was
Not disrespect to Chris.
I was like, man, like, what is going on? Like, these guys is not, you know, like I'm here and he's fighting these guys. I just couldn't understand it, you know. So if there was a guy that, you know, it would be him. And Danny Garcia. That's my boy.
He fought him as amateur, yeah, Swift.
We split.
Left hook.
We split 1-1. I think me and Danny would have made for a great fight, you know, being that we knew each other.
Even at 48 years old, Manny Pacquiao is still proving his built differently. In July 2025, he returned to the ring against WBC champion Mario Barrios and fought to a majority draw, proving he can still go toe-to-toe with the world's best. Even when Manny was asked to choose who was better between a prime Floyd and prime Crawford, he did not hesitate to choose the pound-for-pound King Terrence Crawford. Two boxing greats showing respect, right?
How about this one? Floyd Mayweather against Terrence Crawford.
Floyd Mayweather against Terrence Crawford, I think Terrence Crawford.
Why? Why?
In both prime.
Both the prime. You think Crawford is? Why do you like Crawford?
He has advantage. He is a southpaw.
Right. By the way, a switch hitter.
I agree. I think
Manny keeps it simple.
I think Bud gets that one for sure.
That's a really good point.
I saw Crawford as a southpaw. He mastered it. Like you know, he know how to handle his advantage. He need to maximize his advantage against
And then how about Floyd against whoever that's supposed to be?
This shocking longevity is exactly why the boxing world is in chaos over the September 19th, 2026 rematch between Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather at the Sphere again confirmed.
Wouldn't have loved to fight Pacquiao again because he kicked my ass. Sorry. But yeah, there were many fighters out there who I would have loved to fight 2 or 3 times.
You know what? So you had enough of Pacquiao is what you're saying.
Oh, trust me. Right when I walked into the ring, I had enough of Pacquiao.
You thought that when you got in the ring?
Oh, well, Rich, this documentary, my gosh, it's sad too at the end because it shows the whole Pacquiao situation. I was getting beat up in training camp when preparing for Pacquiao. So I knew that was the end already for me because Pacquiao was just coming up.
Yeah.
Pacquiao was like the star in the make.
We see Pacquiao running the mountains every day with 50 people around him. He wants to be the first one, so he's killing himself. He's working his legs. He is a warrior, but at 48, his body can't take that much.
Age is just a number.
And I'll bet you Mayweather, people think, oh, Mayweather's out of shape. He's not training behind curtains. That doing workouts. That's not. That's just to be in shape. And I'll bet.
Okay, we're here in wild card. We're going to visit wild card. Hey, what's going on, buddy? What's up, brother? Hey, good to see you. Hey, congratulations for
So soon I'm going to start training for me with the fight. Yes.
While the fight was officially announced as a professional bout on Netflix, Floyd Mayweather Jr. has suddenly started backpedaling. Rumors are swirling that Floyd is trying to pivot the fight into an exhibition to protect his perfect 50-0 record. Oscar De La Hoya hasn't held back, trolling Floyd by saying, "You're 50-0 on paper, but you're terrified of a real fight because you know Manny is still dangerous."
Yo, what's up, guys? I wasn't going to do a clapback, but all the news on Mayweather, Pacquiao, potentially falling apart. I mean, I have to say this. Mayweather, come on, dude. Fight a real fight. You're still trying to protect your O. Yes, you're 50-0 on paper, but people know you've lost. Shit, your own father said you lost against me back when we fought. And what's crazy is that people don't know that we had a rematch clause for 1 year. And what do? Your pussy ass retires for 1 year and 1 day. Bro, ever since I got beat up by Manny Pacquiao in my last fight. I've wanted to fight every single day, but I couldn't because I wasn't right. Physically, emotionally, I just wasn't right. All that depression, all that shit that I had within my spirit. But now, these last 5 years, I've put in the work, man. Woo! I did a lot of work, and I feel happy. I feel at peace. And you know what? A man at peace is a dangerous fucking man. I can fucking take on King Kong if I want and beat his ass. Shit, I'll even fight Jake Paul. Let's go!
The tension is hitting a breaking point. Manny Pacquiao's camp has publicly confirmed they hold the signed contracts and have already collected advances tied to a professional bout. They've even warned Floyd with a major breach of contract claim if he keeps trying to downgrade the fight from its pro status.
I think he's scared of losing. I mean, he's scared of losing because that's his, his leverage for, to go around and have exhibition because of his undefeated record. But if that record will ruin, then what else that he can leverage for to go around and have an exhibition match?
I don't know much about the guy. Yeah. I don't know what what they're really looking for. It's a dangerous fight because a guy like that beats you. You just made somebody. But I don't know. I think that Team Pacquiao is smart enough to choose the right kind of fights, and at this point in his career at least. And they know. I mean, people are going to tune in to watch Pacquiao fight. I will.
I'm curious now. You felt Danny's punch, and when I've talked to people, they always say that Manny's punch is a really stinging punch. It's a punch that stays with you.
Yeah.
How do you compare the two?
It's a different punch. I think Manny. I fought a lot of great punchers in my day, and everybody punches differently. And people always ask me, "Oh, does this guy hit hard?" Like, yeah, everybody hits hard.
Yeah.
Amir Khan hits hard. Is he the hardest puncher? No, but he hits hard. Everyone hits hard at this level. So it's just a different kind of punch. Manny's power is very surprising. He cuts good angles. You think you're safe, and you're not. I've overheard Tim Bradley talk about that too. Like, he just cuts such good angles and is able to generate power from those positions. So it's definitely different. Danny's power is more like spring-loaded. Kind of like almost like a Roy Jones-ish.
Okay.
Not so wide, but that like really just short whack. And kind
a lot of torque.
Yeah.
I remember I asked Shane that same question, and Shane told me there was at one point where he's like, where the hell are all these punches coming from?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
You guy moves, and you lose him, and you feel the vision, but like you think he's off balance, but he's not. He still is able to crack you.
Yeah.
Like what just hit.
Floyd now appears to understand what Oscar De La Hoya discovered back in 2008. Manny Pacquiao isn't the kind of fighter you can casually underestimate or toy with. If the bout stays as a professional contest, Floyd risks putting his most prized possession on the line, his unbeaten legacy, against a man who simply refuses to slow down with age.
You hurt in that fight?
Never. Just emotionally.
Explain that to me.
Yeah, I was
getting knocked around, or you're knocking someone around. Is there no pain?
I've never felt pain inside the ring. I've been in some very, very tough, grueling, difficult fights. The only pain I've felt was after the fight. I remember I would actually have steaks ready, frozen steaks ready in my room to press them against my face and against my body. It might have been the old Rocky movies that I used to see, but I never felt pain in the ring. It was only emotional pain that I felt when I fought Manny Pacquiao.
That 2008 fight wasn't merely a defeat. It became a mental collapse reshaping history completely. It revealed Manny wasn't merely good, but frighteningly superior in reality. And as we move towards September 2026, the question stands, does Floyd possess the courage to confront the same haunting truth that shattered the Golden Boy? One thing is certain, the world will watch closely to see if Pac-Man has one final shocking upset left in his tank still. So that is all today. If you enjoyed this, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss future videos content. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comment section. Stay tuned and we will catch you in the next video.